Ever wondered what happens when a 3 hour Amish church service finally ends? While modern churches dismiss with quick goodbyes and everyone rushing to Sunday plans, Amish communities are just beginning their day together. 10 rituals happening after worship reveal that church service represents only the start of Sunday's community commitment. The bonding, courtship, planning, and fellowship that follow service matter as much as worship itself. Furniture transformation. Converting worship space to dining area happens with choreographed efficiency as backless benches used for seating become tables for communal meal. Backless benches becoming tables involves flipping some benches to create table legs, while others become tabletops in practiced arrangement. Church wagon containing transformation hardware includes legs, supports, and tablecloth stored in special trailer traveling with benches to each host home. Why this seems strange to outsiders connects to modern culture, separating worship and eating spaces as distinct areas with different purposes and meanings. We separate worship and eating spaces, assuming sacred and communal activities require different environments while they use same room for both without seeing contradiction. The choreographed efficiency comes from men knowing exact process through years of repetition, with practiced movements from performing same transformation bi-weekly. Takes only 15 to 20 minutes despite complexity because everyone knows their role and executes without discussion or direction needed. How children learn the system begins with watching from young age as fathers and older brothers perform transformation, helping as they grow strong enough to carry benches, and understanding their future role, continuing this tradition. The theological meaning integrates worship and fellowship as inseparable aspects of church life, not separating sacred and communal as if God cares only about worship portion. Modern church facilities include dedicated worship and fellowship halls, assuming different activities require different spaces, while their multi-purpose space demonstrates practical efficiency and theological integration. The practicality and symbolism work together with efficient use of space, allowing homes to function normally 6 days weekly, while seamless transition from worship to meal shows fellowship as continuation of worship rather than separate activity. Communal meal. Host family feeding 100 plus people serves identical menu appearing at every church Sunday regardless of season, region, or family hosting. Bread, peanut butter spread, pickles, cheese, and sometimes bologna create simple meal requiring minimal preparation despite large numbers. Why the menu never varies connects to simplicity, preventing competition between families about who provides better food, focus remaining on fellowship rather than food quality or variety, and everyone knowing exactly what to expect without surprises or disappointments. The serving order and protocol follows strict hierarchy, with men eating first in shifts since tables cannot accommodate everyone simultaneously, women and children eating after men finish, and strict seating arrangements by age and gender maintained throughout. How host family prepares involves days of baking dozens of loaves of bread, making traditional peanut butter spread, mixing peanut butter with marshmallow and corn syrup, and borrowing additional dishes and serving pieces from church wagon containing communal supplies. Teaching daughters hosting skills begins early, with girls helping mothers prepare for their family's hosting turn, learning quantities needed to feed large group, and understanding their future responsibility as wives hosting church in their own homes. Modern potluck variety involves everyone bringing different dishes, creating competition and comparison about whose food tastes best or looks most impressive. Their uniform simplicity serves same meal, eliminating pride in cooking abilities or financial resources, keeping focus, remaining on community relationships rather than food consumption. The meaning of shared meal treats breaking bread as sacred act, continuing worship through fellowship, reinforcing community bonds through literal sharing of sustenance. Extended fellowship time. Staying for hours after eating means no one is rushing home despite service and meals already consuming 4 or 5 hours on Sunday. No one rushing home reflects the expectation that the entire day belongs to community without competing commitments or activities. Conversations continuing all afternoon cover topics from farming techniques to family news to community concerns needing discussion. Why this seems excessive to outsiders connects to modern churches dismissing quickly within hours of service ending, we having other Sunday plans, including sports, shopping, or entertainment, while their complete day commitment dedicates the entire Sunday to the church community. The social importance cannot be overstated with catching up on 2 weeks of news, since church happens only every other Sunday, discussing community matters requiring group input or coordination, and building relationships across generations through extended casual interaction. How different groups interact shows men gathering outside or in a barn discussing farming, business, and community decisions, women remaining in the kitchen area, continuing conversation while gradually cleaning, youth finding each other for informal socializing under adult supervision, and children playing in designated outdoor areas with games and activities. Teaching children patience involves sitting quietly during adult conversations without interrupting or complaining, understanding fellowship importance as equal to worship service itself, and learning to value community time over personal preferences. Modern rushed schedules maximize efficiency by packing multiple activities into a single day, handling multiple commitments, requiring quick transitions, while their singular focus dedicates an entire day for the community without anything competing for attention. The business conducted informally includes problem solving for members facing difficulties, planning community work projects requiring coordination, and addressing concerns before they become serious conflicts. Youth singing gathering. Teenagers staying for evening singing begins late afternoon or early evening after adult fellowship winds down and represents separate event from morning worship. Starting late afternoon or early evening means youth gathering while adults depart, creating young people's space within larger church context. Separate from adult fellowship allows youth autonomy while remaining connected to church community and adult supervision. Why this matters for courtship connects to singing being only acceptable mixed-gender social time outside family contexts, supervised setting but more relaxed than morning service formality, an opportunity for young men and women to interact and begin courtship relationships. The singing hymns tradition uses faster, more energetic tunes than morning worship, sometimes includes English hymns from other traditions, and allows youth to choose songs creating ownership of their gathering. How parents monitor subtly involves staying nearby in a house or barn without hovering over youth, trusting community, accountability to prevent inappropriate behavior, and watching for problematic interactions while allowing normal socializing. Teaching youth social boundaries includes understanding appropriate interaction between genders in group settings. Learning courtship begins through these supervised gatherings and developing relationships within the community rather than outside world. Modern youth group activities involve structured programs and entertainment planned by adults, adult-led activities with minimal youth input or control, while their youth-directed gathering involves minimal adult interference, allowing organic social development. The courtship opportunities emerge as young men begin noticing particular young women, conversations between specific pairs happening during breaks, and relationships beginning to form under community observation. Buggy rides home after dark. Courting couples riding home together represents a young man offering a girl a ride home in his buggy after singing ends as parents arrive separately. A young man offering girl a ride signals serious interest to entire community observing who rides with whom. Parents arriving separately means the girl's parents leave her, knowing the young man will provide transportation, indicating acceptance of potential courtship. Why this represents significant step connects to buggy ride being only private time courting couples get away from constant community observation, indicating serious interest rather than casual friendship, and community watching who rides with whom, tracking relationship development. The protocol and rules maintain propriety, with couples required to stay on main roads visible to other travelers, time limits expected with arrival at girl's home within reasonable time frame, and girl's parents waiting up to ensure proper arrival time and behavior. How relationships progress shows multiple rides, indicating established courtship relationship, eventually leading to young man meeting girl's parents formally in their home, and community knowing who's courting through observation of Sunday rides. Teaching youth about courtship includes understanding proper behavior during private buggy time, respecting physical and emotional boundaries always, and recognizing that community accountability continues even during seemingly private moments. Modern dating privacy allows parents remaining unaware of relationships until serious couples juggling multiple simultaneous relationships without community knowledge, while their public accountability means everyone knowing relationship status from first buggy ride and community investment in couples' appropriate development toward marriage. Hosting family cleanup. Families helping host family clean prevents leaving massive mess for host to handle alone after feeding and entertaining 100 plus people all day. Not leaving a mess for the host alone demonstrates communal responsibility for the burden of hosting the entire church district. Washing hundreds of dishes, glasses, and serving pieces requires an organized system with multiple women working together in an efficient assembly line. Returning benches to church wagon involves men carefully loading benches into trailer in proper order for next host family. Why this communal cleanup matters connects to shared burden, making hosting sustainable rather than dreaded obligation, preventing resentment about work required to host, and demonstrating that church community supports each other practically, not just spiritually. The division of cleanup labor follows gender roles, with women washing and drying dishes in kitchen, men loading church wagon and returning worship space to normal living area, and children clearing tables and tidying outdoor play areas. How long cleanup takes extends 1 to 2 hours minimum, despite many hands helping because of sheer quantity of dishes and furniture requiring attention. Teaching children cleanup responsibility includes understanding hosting burden shared by entire community, developing appreciation for host families' work, preparing home and food, and learning their future role in supporting church gatherings. Informal bishop counseling. Members seeking private counsel approach bishop for conversation about personal or spiritual matters needing guidance. Bishop making himself available after church provides opportunity for members to request counsel without scheduling formal appointments. Addressing personal or spiritual matters in this setting allows privacy while community remains present nearby, preventing completely private counseling that might raise concerns. Why after-church timing matters connects to privacy being possible while community present in other areas of property, not requiring special appointment that might feel intimidating or formal, and immediate guidance available when issues arise rather than waiting days or weeks. The types of issues discussed include family conflicts needing mediation from trusted leader, business disputes between members requiring neutral arbitration, spiritual struggles or doubts needing pastoral guidance, and questions about ordnung interpretation when members feel uncertain about rules. How bishop balances accessibility involves being available without appearing intrusive or demanding confessions, recognizing who needs conversation through observation and intuition, and maintaining discretion about sensitive matters discussed privately. Teaching discretion and confidentiality means understanding that private conversations stay private, respecting bishop's role as spiritual leader and counselor, and learning when to seek guidance versus handling matters independently. Planning community work. Organizing barn raisings and harvests happens as men discuss upcoming needs and coordinate schedules and labor. Men discussing upcoming needs identifies families requiring community help with major projects or crises. Coordinating schedules and labor means determining available dates and commitments from skilled workers and general laborers. Why planning happens after church connects to everyone being gathered in one place, eliminating need for individual contacts, no phones making face-to-face coordination essential, and decisions being made through group discussion rather than individual arrangements. The types of projects planned include barn raisings for families whose barns burned, harvest help for sick farmers unable to bring in crops, home repairs for widows lacking male family members, and road maintenance in community areas not covered by government services. How decisions get made through informal consensus building means discussing project scope and requirements, bishop or deacon providing guidance about priorities and timing, and volunteers committing publicly to participate on designated dates. Teaching young men about cooperation includes understanding community obligations to help neighbors in need. Learning construction and farming skills through participation in projects and recognizing their future responsibility to contribute labor and expertise. Reviewing church discipline. Discussing members under discipline happens in private conversations between bishop, ministers, and deacons after general fellowship ends. Reviewing confessions and repentance means evaluating whether members who confessed sins show genuine repentance deserving restoration. Deciding restoration timing determines when members under ban can return to full fellowship and communion participation. Why this happens after